Good morning. This is Mr. Giancarlo with What's Up with Giancarlo. We're going over lesson 17.4, applying addition and subtraction. Okay? So in 17.1, you learn to add integers with the same signs. 17.2, you learn to add integers with different signs. And then in 17.3, you learned how to subtract integers, which was with keep, change, change. Okay, so now we're getting into 17.4, which is like word problems and working it out from there. So let's start it off. Solving a multi-step problem. You can use what you know about adding and subtracting integers to solve a multi-step problem. Example 1. A seal is swimming in the ocean 5 feet below sea level. It dives down 12 feet to catch some fish. Then the seal swims 8 feet up towards the surface with its catch. What is the seal's final elevation relative to sea level? So a seal is swimming 5 feet below sea level. So it starts at -5, okay? Then it's going down 12 feet, so that'll be minus 12 feet. And then it swims 8 feet up. So I'm going to add 8 to it. So first things first. Let's separate this plus 8 because that's fine. That's plus 8, we're fine with that. So what we need to do is we need to KCC this -5 minus 12. So KCC, I'm going to get -5 plus, that's a positive 12. I'm going to make it a -12. So basically, I'm just going to add them together since it's a negative plus negative. That's 17.1, adding with the same sign. So 5 plus 12 is 17, and they're both negative, so it'd be -17. And then right here. And then since this is adding with a different sign, this would be 17.2, which is basically 17 minus 8 is 9. And then we keep the sign of the bigger number. So we have -9. What is my answer? Ooh, drum roll, please. And woo, let's do it. Yay. Yay. The seal's final elevation is 9 feet below sea level. This is reasonable because the seal swam farther down than up. Okay? All right, your turn. Pause. Anna is in a cave 40 feet below the cave entrance. She descends 13 feet, then ascends 18 feet. Find her new position relative to the cave entrance. So, descends means go down. Ascends means go up. So she's 40 feet below. We start off with -40. She descends 13 feet. We're going down 13. She ascends 18 feet. We're going up 18. This is the problem that you need to solve. So like I said before, forget the plus 18, that's fine. We got a KCC these. So we're going to get -40 plus, this is a positive 13, so it's going to be a -13. Adding these two together, we get 53. So we'll have -53 plus 18 because the 18 is still part of that. And then basically we're just going to subtract them because that's what we do in 17.2. 53 minus 18. So you get 35 from that. And then the 53 is the bigger number and it's negative. So it's going to be -35. 35 feet below that cave entrance. Okay? This is how the work showed out. If you have any problems, please comment or ask me in class. All right, moving on. Applying properties to solve problems. You can use properties of addition to solve problems involving integers. So, example 2, Irene has a checking account. On Monday, she writes a check for $160. She writes a $160 check for groceries. Then she deposits $125. Finally, she writes another check for $40. What was the total change in the amount in Irene's account? So, when you write a check, you are losing money. You are giving money away. Okay? That is bad. We don't ever want to give money away. Okay? So, writing a check, that'd be -160. Okay? but then she deposits 125. So plus 125. And then she's going to write another check for $40. Okay? So what they want you to do is they want you to rearrange it so you can do KCC. Okay? You can solve it this way if you'd like and do KCC at the end. So let's do it this way and then we'll do it the book way. So 160 plus 125, that's really 160 minus 125. So that'd be 35, but it'd be negative 35 minus 40. So KCC, we keep the negative 35, we make this a plus, and then we make this a negative 40. So we end up with negative 75 because we add them together and it stays negative. So there's that. What they do is this is our problem that we started off with because we read it straight from the word problem and then we wrote it down. So they move things around because you can with the commutative property. The commutative property, you can move them around. So they do KCC and the minus sign turns to a plus sign and then the 40 turns to a negative. So you add them together and then you're going to subtract 200 minus 125 to get 75 and then the 200 is bigger. Okay? And then that's associative property. So Irene's account has $75 less than it did before Monday. Okay. Skipping this reflective, just go straight into the move that. All right. So Alex wrote checks on Tuesday for $35 and $45. He also made a deposit in his checking account of 180. Find the overall change in the amount in his checking account. Go ahead, pause it. So he wrote checks for 35, so negative 35 minus 45. He made a deposit for 180. That is what your situation looks like. Boom. When you work it all out, you get a $100 increase. Negative 35, when you KCC, you get negative 35 plus negative 45. That will be negative 80. And then when you add it to 180, you'll get 100. Okay? This was the answer. So, not cool. Hopefully you guys didn't know that and you guys worked it out on your own. Okay. One last example and one last your turn. Comparing values of expressions. Sometimes you may want to compare values obtained by adding and subtracting integers. Example 3. The Tigers, a football team, must gain 10 yards in the next 4 plays to keep possession of the ball. So that is something we use at the very end, okay? We worry about what's going on now. The Tigers gain 5 yards, positive 5. Lose 12 yards, negative 12 minus 12. Gain 14 yards, plus 14. And finally lose 8 yards, minus 8. Do the Tigers maintain possession of the ball? They obviously don't understand how football works. So we work this out. They want us to move things around for the commutative property. So what they want us to do is keep the 5 plus 14 together. And then we have our negative 12 minus 8. So they say KCC with this. And that would be negative 12 plus negative 8. So, or minus 12. So we'd get 5 plus 14 is 19, and then it would be minus 20. Okay? This ends up equaling negative 1, and that is less than 10. That's why it needs to be more than 10. That's how that works out. Okay? So you work it all out, you get the last point, Tigers gained less than 10 yards, so they did not maintain possession. So they got 5 yards, then minus 12. So now they need 7 yards for the first down, and then they got 14. So they don't know what they're talking about because that they already got a first down. You can't just lose a first down like that. So that's football and math. You're welcome. So, Jim and Carla, your turn. Pause. Jim and Carla are scuba diving. Jim started out 10 feet below the surface. He descended 18 feet, rose 5 feet, and descended 12 more feet. Then he rested. Carla started out at the surface. She descended 20 feet, rose 5 feet, and descended another 18 feet. Then she rested. Which person rested at a greater depth? So they're saying which person stopped and rested at lower. So Jim started out negative 10 feet. Negative 10, went down 18, came up 5, he rose 5 feet, and then went back down 12. So this is J. Carla started at surface, okay? So she went down 20, came back up 5, and then went down 18. Okay? Those are the situations that you need to work out. So they work it out. Negative 10 minus 18 plus 5 minus 12. Perfect. 0, we didn't even put 0. We just put negative 20 plus 5 minus 18. Perfect. So when they work it out, Jim was at negative 35 and Carla was at negative 33. So Jim rested at a greater depth. Okay? That was it. Thanks for tuning in. You're always welcome on my YouTube channel. Like and subscribe the video, subscribe to the channel. And remember, if you're watching this video, you're a part of the class. See you next time, everybody.